Hello, welcome to GWDA 101 Applications in Industry. My name is Patty Maurer and I will be your instructor for your course this session. So I first wanted to welcome you to the class and welcome you to the program. So this is likely going to be your first program in the design program. So I wanted to go over with you briefly how the course is set up and where to look for your assignment instructions. So the first thing you need to do is to click on the title of the course in order to see the weekly announcements. So the announcements will come up in the left-hand corner, and for each of the modules, I will have a start date. So the modules may not always be on the same day of the week. So the milestones. So for instance, milestone 1 started today, August 2nd, and it might be on a different day next week. So you want to make sure that you check the course calendar. And to click on the course calendar, just select it from the navigation, and you'll see my office hours are listed, as well as the different dates for the different assignments. So you could just click on these different assignment due dates to see where what task, milestone task, would be due for different days of the week. So we usually set up the courses in milestone format, and for each week there will be tasks that break up the milestone. So each milestone will usually have about 1 or 2 tasks that you complete for that milestone. So the first thing you want to do when you come into the course is click on the learning path, and you want to go through the welcome and start here, and it will go through. If you click on the course overview, there's a video that will introduce you to the course. And what you will be learning throughout this course is basically the different platforms, Windows versus Macintosh, depending on what you're using, the different software. You will not be going in depth into these software programs. These are just a very basic overview to get you used to knowing how to save files, different file formats, how to use your scanner, your digital camera, how to use stock art, and some of the various formats and platforms that each of these programs use. You'll find that they are very similar to each other. And you will be using Bridge and Illustrator and Photoshop, as well as InDesign in this course, spending approximately about a week to 10 days or so on each of the programs. You'll be basically following through with different tutorials in videos. So this session is very heavy on watching videos and just applying what you are learning. So don't be too afraid. It sounds like it's overwhelming, but really it's just a lot of reading and a lot of watching, especially this first week. So to advance from the course overview, after you've watched the video, just click on the right arrow and it'll bring you up to the project brief. This can briefly go over a breakdown of the different milestones. So milestone 1 here gives you a short paragraph as well as the 2 tasks and the grade points available for that particular milestone. This course does have 6 milestones that you complete in 5.5 weeks. So next, you do a course check-in. This might be new to some of you, but probably new to all of you. This just basically, you submit that you did read the overview and the course instructions and that you've checked into the course. So that lets me know that you're here. It's kind of like taking attendance in a way. So there's a questions for the professor discussion board. If there's any questions that you have, that would be the place to put them, or you could send me an email. If you put them in the general questions for the professor forum, there might be questions that other students have as well. So that might be a great place to look for quick answers to your questions. So next you'll click on milestone 1, and then you'll go through the milestone 1 overview. And again, there's a lot of videos through milestone 1. So you'll be doing a lot of watching and reading for this first week. This first week you're basically uploading or downloading the software that you're going to need for the course, learning about your computer, learning about the different platforms. This will tell you the different sections or required activities. We have software setup and expectations, time management tips, All these different things, managing files. Some of them require about 20 minutes, some of them are shorter, like 10 or 15. But it's broken down into different sections so that you don't have to sit down and do them all at once. However, do remember that this is a pretty fast-paced course, so I would suggest not waiting until the last day of the milestone to do that. There's no textbook for this course, no additional required readings. Everything that you should need for the course you should be able to find in these different lecture overviews for each week. There's also optional files here if you want to learn more about file formats, calibrating your monitor, copyrights, things like that. So you'll learn how to do your software setup in this first week. And I wanted to go over with you the first 2 tasks. Here's how you go through setting up your Creative Cloud, which is your software for the course. So you want to pay careful attention to that, on how to access that. Mac versus Windows, the differences between the two. Managing your files throughout the course. And one thing I will say that's very important and something that you should learn now is save everything. Back up your work. I can't tell you how many students at the end of their program say that they didn't have access to a lot of their assignments and a lot of their portfolio quality work because something happened to their computer or their files. Throughout the different sections, you'll see these different tabs. Make sure you click on the tabs. That way you get all the information. This one has a video with this tab, depending on whether you're on Windows versus Macintosh. So there might be a different set of instructions, depending on which platform that you use. Raster versus vector art is very important. That's a great overview of that. You'll hear those terms quite a bit throughout your program. Understanding digital color, the importance of copyright. This is a very in-depth video. It's a half hour. It goes over using Adobe Bridge, which your first week assignment will be in. Okay, there's a summary of what basically you've learned all throughout the course. So you'll be learning Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and then you'll be using Bridge as well. So I went through some of the, you need to confirm your software installation. You just hit submit. It's an ungraded task. It just says that, yep, you got your software downloaded and you're ready to go for the class. So I went ahead and did some further instructions for task 1. This is a very brief of what you need to do for this first assignment. The instructions are there for the assignment instructions. Make sure you read the grading rubric so you know what you're being graded on. And basically there's different steps. So these are the different steps required. So as you can see, it's pretty in-depth. There's even a video that goes over what you need to do for the first task. Several videos, actually. So just make sure you read each part carefully. There's 3 parts. So part A is, let's see. You will need to download your software, and then when you have like Photoshop open, you go to the help and then system info, and then you'll see a box like this. You want to copy all the information in this box and paste it into a Word document. And then you want to do the same thing for Adobe Illustrator. Then you want to save that Word document. You'll save it as instructed here in the assignment instructions. And then part B is, you'll go to this link 4 times, New York Times, you'll click here. You'll select an article, and then it teaches you how to save it as a PDF file through these instructions here. So you'll want to save that PDF file. And then part C of this assignment is you'll learn how to zip those 2 files together. So following these instructions, you'll take your Word document from part A and your PDF file from part B, and you'll zip them together and you will upload the zipped file to the discussion board. Now, one thing, you're not quite done there. You'll need to answer some questions. So it says, by the due date, upload your part C zip and give a brief autobiography of 1 to 2 paragraphs giving your name, current occupation, and the degree you're pursuing, and then these different bullet points. So don't forget this part of your assignment too. So usually most assignments will have you give a brief 1 or 2 paragraphs describing what it is and you're doing for the assignment and answering the questions. Here is the grading rubric. This is the breakdown of what you're going to be graded on. Every week, usually you're instructed to respond to at least 2 of your classmates' posts. This is to be done within 48 hours of the original deadline for the assignment. So what I usually suggest doing is before you complete the next task is to go back and make sure that your class participation is done for the previous assignment. Or while you're turning in your assignment, maybe your classmates have already posted. So it's a good time to check on that as well. For the discussion board topics, the very first discussion post will likely be from me that will say further instructions. This is to give further instructions that I think just a quick rundown of what's expected. So that's what I did here. Part A, install the Adobe Creative Suite for Illustrator and Photoshop, and then go through each of the instructions. Make sure you read the assignment instructions in detail though. This is just a brief overview from me. So for task 2 for this week is also broken down into parts as well. This is basically on how to get images into your computer. So they're going to have you scan an article from a magazine or newspaper. They're going to have you take a photograph with your digital camera and upload it to your computer, and also finding royalty-free images using ImageQuest library. They're going to have you save several of those. You will then take them all into Adobe Bridge and organize them there and take a screen capture. So those are the different steps: scanning an image, importing an image from your camera. There's videos on how to do this, downloading royalty-free images, and then uploading everything into Bridge, and you'll be taking a screen capture. It should look something like this. And then also there's a section on setting up color management for your applications, and you'll be taking a screen capture of that as well. So when you post your assignment, you'll be posting the due date by the due date, those 2 screen captures, as well as a 1 to 2 paragraph description of your experience with the parts of the exercise, answering the questions with these bullet points. Again, here's the grading rubric. So that's the general overview for the week. And if you have any questions, please send me an email or post in the general questions post discussion board, questions for the professor. And I hope you enjoy your first week and your introduction to the course.